Well, so much for breakfast. We'll just have to wait.
We're not helpless. Even if someone slid past the guards, we could defend ourselves. We did before. If they'd just let us through, we'd be done and back in no time.
The guards are only following orders. It's not safe.
I don't like being trapped in here like a bird in a cage. Ah, but you're used to this, aren't you?
He's no longer speaking to me. His attention has drifted to Princess Cassidy. Hey, I was in a dungeon too. I'm starting to lose my mind.
I shouldn't complain about being held back for a few hours when you have waited so much longer to be free.
It's alright. Sometimes I felt trapped here too. He's sensitive to her feelings, even before she voices them. She needs that. Needs someone to look after her. Yeah, but she can have somebody else. The immediate concern is neutralizing the threat. Threat? You heard the guards. Those people outside are plotting to kill my sister. It's Duke Farad's work. It has to be. That talk of imposters and the true princess. With Cassidy gone, Farad would control the heir to the wisdom. Even with blood on his hands, it would take a civil war to unseat him. And Duke Farad is already inside the palace, unless he's left. Why would he? Here he has access to strike at our heart.
Don't be afraid. He can't reach you. We won't let him. All of us. Your guards, your brother, Madeleine, me. We will protect you.
I'm glad you're here with me. All of you. I'm not glad. Nobody asked you, Dolores. If we had to be trapped somewhere, why couldn't it have been the treasury? Or at least the pantry or the cellar or something.
I was trapped in a cellar once.
Is he talking about... Oh, is that when we first met in the cellar?
I was just a little boy and I had no idea how to be patient. So when my nurses told me no, I went around them. And of course I thought that anything I wasn't meant to touch had to be a special treasure. So I snuck into the cellars and found this crate full of jam jars, the bottom crate in a stack hidden from view. The crates were far too heavy for me to shift, but there was a crack between the planks where my hand could just fit. So I pushed my hand through the splinters to grab a jar, and then I was completely stuck.
Oh no!
I couldn't get loose. I tried to stay quiet, but it was dark and my hand hurt, so eventually I tried yelling. But I was all the way at the back, and the kitchens above me were busy and full of noise. Nobody heard me.
You must have been so frightened.
It was awful. I kept thinking of all the terrible things that could happen. What if nobody ever found me and I starved to death? What if rats came and ate me alive?
Oh no.
What if I couldn't hold my bladder any longer? And what if someone found me after that?
Gosh, Oscar. Worst case scenarios. Callum's face twitches as Oscar's antics almost force him to smile. Aw, you almost got Callum smiling. Well done, Oscar. Of course. That's why he's playing Jester. He's trying to keep our spirits up.
So after a while, all I could do was sit on the dirty floor and cry.
Poor little thing. How did you get free?
I didn't. I was rescued by a girl I had never seen before that day. A girl who was older and taller and smarter than me and promised that everything would be alright. She came out of nowhere and saved me, the one true hero of my childhood.
Madeleine, you rescued little Oscar from certain doom? It wasn't that dramatic.
It was to me. You have always been my hero.
I can be your hero, baby. Whoa. Well, that took an abrupt turn. Without warning, our conversation is interrupted by the sound of breaking glass.
What's going on?
What? Something hit the window. Get down! I can feel the vibrations of an impact against the wall outside. What could do that? Did someone build like a catapult? But Callum's right, it's too dangerous to look out the window now. Moments pass in tense silence. A stone crashes through the glass and onto Cassidy's floor. Has someone out there built a catapult? That's what I thought.
They know which window is Cassidy's.
Maybe. Maybe they're firing at random. These stones are too small to do any structural damage. If that's all they've got, we're safe as long as we stay clear of the line of fire. Oh. A fiery arrow leaps past our eyes, burying itself in the rich hangings of Cassidy's room. Guess we're not so safe anymore. Flames tremble, lick, and begin to spread. What do we do? Get out! Get out of here! We rush together into the corridor. You cannot... My room is on fire!
It's the mob outside. They've broken through the windows and sent in flaming arrows. This whole place could go up. We have to get the princess to safety.
Clear summation. He's working well under pressure. Oh, brother. Yes, my lord. The guard begins to direct his companions to handle the crisis. You, get in there and see if the fire can be contained. You and you, start fetching water and sound the alert. I'll escort Her Highness and companions. Where are we going? To your father to regroup. We need his orders. Now move. The guard hustles us through the hallways. Fire, humanity's greatest tool and most dangerous enemy. If that wasn't an isolated attack against Cassidy, if they repeat those tactics against other rooms, it's no joke to say that the whole castle and everyone in it is at risk. There are always some supplies prepared to handle accidents, but a large enough fire, or too many spark points all at once. To prevent that, King Friedrich may have no choice but to turn lethal weaponry against his own people. We run down a corridor and encounter another guard. This doesn't bode well. But this one has followers behind him, bearing sticks and wearing rough-spun clothing. The rebels have broken through. So cue the rock music. Death to the imposter! Run! I'll hold them off! Ooh. The two guards engage in swordplay while the rabble surges against them like a trapped flood. And so we run. Go, guys. Have we lost them? There should be guards by the treasury. Look out! He grabs Cassidy's arm as she stumbles. Black coals are scattered across the floor, still smoldering. They're setting fires here too? No, a servant upended a bucket, that's all. A bucket. Bleh. He kicks the coals out of her path. I can hear screaming in the distance. We need to keep moving. Where are they? The treasury doors remain firmly locked, but the men who should be guarding them are nowhere to be seen. Instead, a figure sits slumped against a wall. A boy, years younger than Oscar or Cassidy, a large pink bruise swelling over half his face. I can see the shattered remains of a vase and a fallen portrait nearby. Looters have been here. That must mean there are more of them loose inside the castle than the ones we've seen. They could be anywhere. Get up, you. Move on. It's not safe here. He reaches down to pull the boy to his feet. Whoa. Callum! Oh no! What happened, Callum? For a moment, I can't see what's happened. Then my eyes registered the flash of steel in the boy's hand and the blood on Callum's side.
The imposter is here! Here! Come here!
He draws back his knife and stares at Princess Cassidy, his eyes wild. I have to stop him. I'll shield her. He is just a boy. Don't want to just kill him outright. And what if the mob gets here before I finish with him? I know he is our enemy, but he's little more than a child. I can't bring myself to use what might be lethal force. There's no other choice. I step in front of Callum and Cassidy, offering my body as a shield. Stop! Please stop! But I flinch as I speak, knowing how useless those words must be. Oh no, please don't get stabbed, Madeleine. All of a sudden, someone pushes past me. A booted foot kicks the boy hard in the ribs, sending him spinning away. Oscar? My hero. The boy collapses to the floor, knife falling from his grip. Dead or unconscious, I don't know. I mean, he only kicked him in the ribs. He shouldn't be dead. Well, he's got, like, steel-tipped boots. Prince Callum clutches his wounded arm, trying to slow the bleeding. The boy's shout has not gone unheard. I hear the thunder of approaching footsteps. The mob has our scent now. They are coming. Get out of here. Move! Thank you, Callum. Once again, there is nothing for us to do but flee. I feel a sneeze coming on. Am I done? Nope. Yes? Sorry about that. Alright. We are far more familiar with the ways of the palace than our pursuers, able to twist and double back, branch down unexpected corridors. It doesn't help. There are too many of them. They cry out, each to another as we flee, and more join the pursuit. This time there is no friendly soldier to guard our passage. Sooner or later we will be run to ground. Oh boy. And me with a sniffly nose and all. We dodge into a room and slam the door behind us. They're right on our heels. Callum leans against the wall, breathing hard. Blood streaks down the length of his side. We've got to stop the bleeding! The door bucks against me, and I dig my heels into the carpet, wedging my shoulder against the wood. Get a table, chairs, anything! Cassidy appears paralyzed with concern for her brother, but Oscar and Dolores obey my commands. Together, we pile furniture in front of the door. It won't hold. This door wasn't built to resist attack. Anything we can push into place, the mob outside can force away. However, there is an important benefit to giving ourselves that extra bit of space. It means if one of the peasants has brought an axe, a blow that breaks through the door will not immediately slice into my skull. That's a good thing. Looking over to Callum, I see that Cassidy has tied together a makeshift dressing from scarves and other fabric. Yeah, she has. Oh, poor Callum. That should stop his life from leaking away, but it doesn't heal the wound. That arm is useless now. And worse. At least it was his left arm. How long do you think we can hold them here? Callum's face is pained, but his eyes are clear. He can't fight, but he can assess the situation. Not long enough. They'll get bored and circle around. He gestures at the opposite wall, where a door leads into a currently empty corridor. We have to get to the secret passage. That's what it's for, so that the royal family can escape when in need. We can't get out that way with all these people behind us. You're hurt, and it takes time to open the locks.
This door will stop them for a while, won't it? If we hurry.
The door shudders, and the three of us are forced to once again push back against the oncoming waves.
Surrender the imposter!
A makeshift barricade won't hold long with no one to guard it. We can get to another room. Something with only one way in. And be trapped like a fox in a hole. Yeah, Dolores is right. We have to do something. We can't stay here. Oh, do we? There's no guarantee that if we make it outside the palace... I mean, if we're outside the palace, we're just going to get attacked from all sides. At least here we know our way around. And if we can defend ourselves, it might buy us some time. For reinforcements or something. Let's try this. We don't have a choice. With Callum hurt, we're too slow. We have to find a choke point. Oscar and I can still fight. The king's forces must be on the move. The other princes may be out there too. If we can hold out long enough, help has to come. That's what I'm thinking. The page is right. We'd be easy targets for smoke and fire, trapped in one place. Not a page anymore. Be whatever you want to be if we get out alive, but we have to escape. But we can't outrace the mob.
Someone has to distract them. Someone has to man the barricade and keep the crowd's attention here, while the rest escape.
Oh, Oscar, you're so close. Oscar rests his hand on the hilt of his sword. Oh, don't be a hero.
Princess Cassidy, you must run. I will hold them off. As long as I stand, they shall not pass.
Oh no, Oscar. Don't say crazy things. You're not a wizard. You're not Gandalf.
I'm not.
As our eyes meet, I feel my heart drop into my stomach. He's deadly serious. And he'll be dead. They'll kill him. No, you can't do this.
It has to be done.
Oh, Madeleine, come on, please admit it already. Not by you, because it's my job. You're not strong. That's terrible. I can't let you die, ma'am. We're meant to be at the end of this. I can't let you die.
Why not?
Because I love you, you idiot!
Took you long enough.
Oh gosh. It did take you long enough. Good God almighty.
It doesn't matter now. Someone has to stay.
No! I will not allow it. If one of you sacrifices yourself now, what happens the next time we face a problem? Or the one after that? Will you all throw your lives away just to let me escape? Not me. Thank you, Dolores. I will not allow my companions to be whittled away one by one in my defense. I'm tired of being protected at the cost of everything else. I am not worth this. You're my sister, and the heir to the wisdom. There is nothing more valuable than you. If my people want me dead, then I am heir to nothing. It's only a few rebels. I will not run any further. She walks to the door. Oh, Cassidy. You out there! I, Princess Cassidy of Guelinor, will surrender myself into your hands on 2 conditions. 1, you leave my companions unharmed. I can't hear any individual person outside, but it sounds like they're laughing. Great. And when I look around the room, I realize Dolores is gone. Dolores? I guess it was too much to expect her to stand beside us to the end. It's hard to blame her for running. Dolores. We could run too. It's Cassidy they want. Oscar and Callum and I could escape. No one moves. Whatever happens, we face it together. 2, you take me to your leaders to parley so that my fate can be decided. Parley? Does she really believe she can talk her way out of this? Pull Captain Jack Sparrow on them. It's too late to choose another path. Our course is set, and we have to follow it through. Oh boy. The crowd jostles us along, captive, through the halls where so recently we walked free. Cassidy's easy acquiescence seems to have blunted their bloodlust for the moment. The princess is pinched, prodded, and shoved, but not greatly harmed. The rest of us merit even less malice, so long as we don't put up a struggle or try to escape. There is no point in damaging the lamb before it reaches the killing grounds. The presentation hall of the Kingdom of Guelinor is very different from that of my homeland. In Osendaware, the heart of the castle has never been filled with rebellious subjects shouting for the blood of their ruler. How has this happened? This should be the strongest, most defensible point of all the land, and yet it has fallen so easily. Guests departed, staff fled, guards turned one against the other, all order upside down. There is no opportunity for escape. Each of us is restrained by many hands, our weapons removed, our defenses exhausted. It is all I can manage to ensure that I am allowed to stand near Oscar and Callum on the sidelines, while the princess holds the center of attention. Well, there you are. Cassidy keeps her head high. I am impressed that she hasn't fainted dead away. Does she have a plan, or is it the inevitability of death which lends her dignity? I am Princess Cassidy of Guelinor. Her pronouncement is met with jeers and calls of "Imposter!" Who among you leads these people? Murmurs, shuffling. At last a figure steps up. It's one of those robot guards. You? I doubt that. We have no leaders. Then who brought you here? We came on our own. We've known all along that you were a lie. A false princess to steal the inheritance of the true wisdom. Cries of,
Lady Wisdom!
Sophia! The lady! Sophia, Duke Farad's wife? But you silenced those calls and purged those who doubted, murdering the true believers. What murder? Your maids, your guards, anyone who questioned you. Raquel and Devante, perhaps? If those 2 deaths became the seed for rumors of deadly purges. Your death will restore the natural order. Beside me, I feel Callum tense, then fall back again, gasping, his face pale and sweaty. Wait! You need witnesses! The guard looks as confused as I feel. There must be over 100 people watching as it is. If you kill me, you need everyone to see it. Gwelenor's nobles as well. You're stalling. She probably is. The King and Wisdom must be out there somewhere, trying to find us, and reinforcements were en route. But will they be in time? Think about it. If you kill me here, who's to say they won't produce another princess and claim that I never died? If I'm an imposter, what's to stop them from creating another one? The rebel guard hesitates in confusion, but her logic is lost in the crowd. They have come here for blood. I will stand witness. Ma'am. Random man. Oh, and it got quiet. To my surprise, I see the unmastered crowds part to let a single man walk through. Someone they respect and obey. Their true leader. Duke Farad. Dude, it was you. What? No, I thought you were on our side. Gotta drink some water for this. Farad, no. You motherless son! From the heart of the grave I will drag you down! But the Duke pays no heed to Prince Callum's impotent rage. In his hand he carries a musket! Oh no! At this range, the thick ball such a gun fires could tear a hole through an armored man large enough to reach a hand through. There's nothing anyone can do. Ready, aim, fire. Well, that escalated quickly. Cassidy! Cassidy. The body falls lifeless to the ground except for that faint heartbeat. Oh, that's probably mine in my ears. No one can speak. All of us, crowd and captive alike, are transfixed by the blood that covers Cassidy's gown. Blood from the rebellious guardsmen whom Duke Farad just shot down. Oh, Farad. You are on our side, thank goodness. Hear me, all of you. I am Farad, husband to Sophia, father to Riel, a duke in this land. I am not your king. Before the eyes of the crowd, he seizes Cassidy's hand and raises it high. This is Cassidy, the true and only princess of Gwellenor, heir to the royal wisdom. She is not an impostor, and I am not seeking the throne, not for myself and not for my family. Can it be that he is on our side? Woohoo! It's not enough. We are still completely outnumbered. All the mob has to do is shoulder their losses and charge. One gun cannot hold off an army. And yet they hesitate. They are leaderless, directionless. I can see their faces turn, looking from one to another, wondering what to do next. A single feather could be enough to tip the scales again. One voice willing to speak up, to step out from the crowd, and risk being the first to fall. I will be that voice. The mob needs direction. I will give them one. Hail Princess Cassidy! Hail the Princess of Gwellenor! The crowd shifts, turning its focus onto me. And then another voice takes up my call. Hail! Hail! Is this her dad come back?
I quite agree.
It is you. You would come now, after all that. And now at last, the true king returns. Surrounding him are clusters of loyal guardsmen, and more following in their wake. The reinforcements have arrived. Can I just say I really love this music.
Citizens of Gwellenor, you are dismissed. Return to your homes and be grateful that I am a forgiving man. Leave now. Cause no further damage and you will not be arrested. Harm my daughter, or those others with her, and I will see you hanged.
And the guard's like, whoop. The guards move out into the crowd, their faces stern and dispassionate. They refuse to be riled. The rebels, for their part, are losing the strength to resist. Their beliefs have been shaken, their advantages torn away. Fight combat-hardened men? For what? What could they gain now? Some struggle. More are rooted to the spot with confusion. A few have sensed the turning tides and are doing their best now to flee. Among the latter are our own self-appointed guards. The man who pinned my arms now shoves me away with a curse and slips off into the throng, gone before I have any chance to identify him. Released by his captors, Prince Callum falls to his knees. I push a babbling woman out of my way to reach his side, only to find that Oscar is already there, tending to Callum's wound as best as he can. He needs better care than either of us can provide, but now he may have the chance to receive it. Atop the dais, Princess Cassidy still stands at Duke Farad's side, watching chaos swirl around her. Man, what a contrast you two make. I don't understand. This was Marie's doing, not directly. I think I'm doing the Kurt's voice, aren't I? Sorry, this music's just so wonderful, it's driving voices out of my head. This was Marie's doing, not directly, but the wheel she set in motion. She poisoned the minds of those prone to resentment, those who wished to believe in revolution. A true princess denied, an overthrow that would bring back lost freedom and prosperity. Lies clung to by those who wished to believe that they alone knew the truth. Once I wedded Sophia, my Belle-Mère scheme lost its direction. However, conspiracy is not so easily unraveled. I have been fending off this aid for some time now. You never wanted me dead. Of course not. I want to protect my family, nothing more. Years of whispers, rumors of an imposter princess. It was all the doing of Grandessa Marie. If the spark set had kindled revolution a few years earlier, her daughter Sophia would have become heir. But it didn't work. Princess Cassidy was too closely protected. There was never any way for conspirators to get close to her. Those few who did were high nobles, who knew her wise mother Paloma and saw the lies for what they were. All the isolation, the distance it created between Cassidy and her brothers was to guard her life. And so Marie's plan came to nothing, and Sophia eventually married and moved away from her influence. But the smoke couldn't be put back into the bottle. The rumors continued, and those who believed Cassidy an imposter still waited for their chance. When Dolores dragged Cassidy out of the palace because of Callum's scheme, it was the first opportunity anyone had for a clear shot at her. And then, when that incident triggered reprisals, it set off a wave of reactions from those who believed themselves part of a greater cause. We might all have died today, and for what? In the end, no one would benefit. Is this the inevitable outcome of grasping for prizes to which you have no right? The arrival of the infantry could not bring an end to the day's troubles in one swift stroke. Angry voices still echo outside the palace walls. Rebels, with more interest in loot than politics, avoided the large gathering and are still being hunted down. For these reasons, we are once again gathered and guarded in a single room. This time one without windows, but with enough guards to chase away any ill-wishers. Callum slumps in a corner, his wounds rebandaged, but his mother, the wisdom, has eyes only for Cassidy. Aw, you're a terrible mother. Your boy's in the corner with a knife wound in his gut, and you're worried about Cassidy. Not that I wasn't worried for you, Cassidy, but come on. I have to drink some more water. My darling girl, my baby. Are you all right? Did they hurt you? She reaches for Cassidy, but her hand pauses in mid-motion. Is she so afraid of breaching royal decorum before my eyes that she will not embrace her daughter even now? Aw, she's crying. Oscar at least shows no such reluctance. As the princess begins to tremble, he gathers her into his arms. Aw. I was so frightened. Shh, you are wonderful. A true hero. I think today we are all heroes.
Yes, you are. I cannot thank you enough for standing beside my daughter. But where is the other girl? Callum's valet.
Gone.
Dead?
I don't think so. She slipped away during the standoff. Without the rest of us in tow, Dolores could pass herself off as either a looter or a loyal servant, depending on whom she encountered. Right. That girl's a survivor. She'll be fine.
Yes, I suppose you are right. Miss Valois, the Honorable Miss Valois, I must offer you my sincere apology. Friedrich and I used you for our own purposes, knowing that you did not deserve the consequences. For your services, the Crown of Guelinor owes you a boon. If there is any reward that I may offer. For a moment I can hear my own heartbeat resounding in my ears. Can I get my house now? Royal favor, the culmination of all my efforts. I could ask for gold, all that Dolores tried to steal and more. I could ask for a full title of my own, complete with land grant. I could have a hearth. I could have a hearth to hold at last. Home. I could have a home. And yet, at my side I can see Princess Cassidy, still nestled in the safety of Oscar's arms. Isn't that what I've been trying to achieve all along? What do I really want? Well, if Madeleine was in this situation, she would probably say something stupid like propose Oscar's marriage to Cassidy. But you guys can get together in another playthrough, surely. I'm sure you guys get together some other way, but I'm gonna be greedy. Get my hearth, or home, or whatever. And then me and Oscar are gonna get together. Just because I've been working so hard for it. And Madeleine finally admitted that she loved him, so... Alright, position. Your illumination. Despite all that has happened, I have enjoyed my time in Guelinor. I would be pleased to remain here as your subject, and a member of your court. What?
The reward I request is the grant of an estate, some manner of property that I can hold.
Easily granted if your liege lord will release you.
Oscar? Oh, so close.
Maddie.
I take a deep breath and steel myself. Oh! I propose marriage. Oh, right, of course, the women are taking the main role here in society. This is great. I am not saying goodbye. Come on, Oscar. Please say yes. That'll be terrible if you said no. One step down, the other, most terrifying of all, still to go. Prince Oscar of Osendawere, will you marry me? All sound in the room stops, even the music, but for a tiny squeak from Princess Cassidy. She looks back and forth between Oscar and myself, blushes, and then steps out of the way. Come on, Cassidy, you were there when Madeleine admitted her love for Oscar. It is only him and me. I wait, that breath slipping away for his answer.
Yes, and yes, and yes.
With each yes, he brings his lips close to my skin, his breath whispering over my flesh. Stop that! You're making me shiver.
That's the idea. Kisses sharper than a thorn. The reason Madeleine was born.
No poetry again. No, not the poetry.
You're stuck with me and my poetry forever.
Aw, the bride. The political turmoil in Guelinor was not completely wiped away with one afternoon standoff. Many of the dispersed noble guests had encountered trouble on the roads, and a number of criminals had to be tracked down and punished. The guests who had remained within the palace posed their own problems. Some had been injured during the siege. Others blamed myself or Oscar for the disruption, even after it was made clear that he had no designs on Princess Cassidy, and that she had no intention of marrying anyone in the near future. Thus, with Prince Callum's recovery and the need to support Cassidy, not to mention laying the groundwork for my new title, it was some months before Oscar and I could be married. His royal parents were not entirely pleased that I had stepped outside of my assigned role and swayed their beloved son with my feminine wiles. However, through our adventures, Oscar and I had forged close ties with the future wisdom of Guelinor. Therefore, this relationship did have some political advantages for Oscar's former homeland. Former, you say? Former, of course, because the lands that Cassidy granted me were here, in her kingdom. A small estate, but with good possibilities for future income, and plenty of trees for Oscar to climb. We've been so busy recently that I've only had a brief chance to visit. But now... Oh boy.
Are you ready to see your new home?
Are you sure you're up for this?
It is traditional, isn't it?
Oh, is he gonna carry her over the... is it hearth? Over the doorstep? The entranceway? I don't know why I can't say hearth. In the comments, tell me how to pronounce it, please. Because apparently I am stunted. Just don't drop me.
I promise.
Oh, what a beautiful wedding picture. White and yellow with a little bit of blue. Your shoes are awesome. Oh, I love the music. You're stronger than you look.
Sometimes I forget that too. I don't know if I can always be strong and brave.
You are you. That's all that matters to me. And when you need a hand, I'll be there for you.
You're very wise.
That's my job now, to be your wisdom.
Forever and always.
Happy end. Yay! Yay for Oscar and Maddie. Aw, that was so sweet. Oh, I love this picture so much. Well, thanks for watching me play this, guys. Well, now that I finished this first walkthrough of Royal Trap, y'all know what that means. Going back to the Magical Diary next time, so catch me over there whenever I get around to playing that again, and yeah, we'll see you then. Take care, guys.